Good morning and welcome to the Shamrock Quilt Studio. Today our video is about the hand quilting on our Springburst project. And let me tell you, I've been through some ups and downs on this thing and it's quite a story. So join us right after this and I'll tell you all about it. Well, Springburst started out as a aggressive project that I thought would just be gorgeous. I saw something on a video and really liked the way it looked, and I said, you know, I've got those diamond-shaped pieces and I like to do EPP, and why can't I do something like that and just make it my own? So that's what I set out to do. And I spent a lot of time making the pieces, thinking about how this design needed to transition from the center to the outside. A lot of time trying to figure out how we were going to add borders to this and finish it. And in our last episode, I covered with you putting the borders on this. Now the borders are on. I think that maybe a couple of the mitered edges may need to be adjusted. But at this point, I've been working on the hand quilting for this. And let me tell you, sitting down on the floor in my living room, trying to sandwich this thing is where the big problem started. Because, and I may have alluded to this in the past, with these diamond-shaped EPP, a lot of the seam area is on a bias. And bias tends to stretch more than width of fabric or length of fabric. So it's like that dress that you have that has those lovely little waves of fabric that just gracefully drape from your body. This quilt does the same thing. And that's not a good thing when you're talking about quilts, because it's almost like that little toy that when you put your fingers in it and you try to pull your fingers out, you can't get your fingers out because the little tube moves with you when you do this. It comes and it goes, like one of those little things we used to hang our coffee cups on the wall, or a folding laundry rack. It's that movement of these pieces. And my quilt was doing the same thing. So when I laid it on the floor, what happened was all of this fabric, as we got further from the center, grew more than it should. And I looked at it, and frankly, I spent about 2 days thinking, should I just put it in a box and leave it there? I was so frustrated with it and thinking, what if I start quilting on this and get 3/4 of the way through and realize it's not going to work? It's gut-wrenching. It really is, to get to that point in a project and become almost paralyzed in trying to figure out what's the best use of your time and materials. How are you going to make it work? So I decided that what we would do is we would start quilting from the middle and work out. And we couldn't you couldn't start and go around in a circle, because if you did that, any extra fabric you had would end up where you ended that circle. So it needed to be done in such a way that any extra fabric was uniformly distributed. So what I did was I started in the middle. And where is the middle? Here's the middle right here. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this very well, but I can describe it to you. Maybe we can't see that. Okay. So here's the center, and what I did was I quilted just at the edge of this 8-pointed star, and that kind of set things in place for me. And from there, what I did was I quilted a series of V shapes, and I would come right here from the edge of this and quilt out 3 of the pieces, here and here. And then instead of skipping right to the next one, I came over and I did the next green one. So that was skipping one and moving on. Did that all the way around, and then I came back and did the pink. So that distributed that fabric in that central middle area. So far, so good. That worked. But I did realize that as I got further away from the center, it was going to become more difficult. But the process worked, and that's what I wanted to keep doing. So that first set of stitches is right here. And they extended from a point down to the end of the floral fabric. So the next thing I did was I picked up that design again, and I started here from the center of this V and went down 3. And that also put me at the end of the floral pieces. And I addressed that the same way as the others. I did the green ones, and then I came back and did the pink ones. Now you can see that these two are really close together, and then these two are a little further apart. So we do have some area in here that's not quilted. But I went all the way around doing the green ones first, then coming back and doing the pink ones. So far, so good, because we're distributing that extra fabric, that extra, it's really not extra fabric. It's more distance of fabric because of the way it's pulled. So we've got this one, then we've got this one. So now we're down to here. And then the last thing I'm doing right now is I'm going around here at the base, in between these two here, this one and this one, and doing this little 4-piece arrowhead almost. And I just quilted all the way around that, all the way around. And then I came back, and these pieces, which look like little hearts, let's make sure you can see that on screen here. I did those too. I come around those. So we've gone from 8 places up here, and then we came down and we did 8 more places, and we've got a little bit bigger gap between the two. We came in between, and then we came in between those. So now our quilting is about 8 inches. That's about 6. So about 8, 6, sometimes closer. But what I've managed to do is to get it to a point where it's all quilted. Now, does it look perfect on the back? It certainly does not. But because we used this floral fabric, you can barely even see the stitches, and I don't know that even if you could, you'd care too much, because it's just holding it together. And this is I don't even know what we're going to use this for, but that's what we're working on. Now, I may decide at some point to go back in and add some more stitching, particularly here where we've got the line here and here, and then we pick up and do it again here. This area here does not have any. And what I may choose to do is come in somewhere in this area and quilt something. I don't know yet, because I don't know how it's going to lay at this point. I am working on the very last arrow here. So I actually told you backwards. I did these and then I came in to do these. But at the end of the quilt here, we have quilting about every 5 inches. So I think that that's really good. Now, I am deciding at this point whether I want to come in and quilt along this edge. And I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to, because it's going to be hard enough to get that to lay flat. And I think what I'm going to do, this is my preliminary thinking on this, is once I get this last piece hand quilted, I'm going to come in and check these corners. See, I can tell here on this one's pretty good. So it looks like it's in good shape. And I'll pin these edges and then run a machine stitch, probably about a 1/4 inch. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I don't need to trim them. And then if they don't need to be trimmed, I'm going to run that seam about a 1/4 inch from the edge. Or I may measure down and draw a line on and make my seam there. Kind of as a basting stitch. It'll be a really long stitch coming across here so that we can put it all together and we can trim it. Because right now we're just at a rough trim around this. Look at all this extra fabric. And then we'll add the binding on and see how that begins to take shape. Because I'm telling you, this whole thing is coming together trial and error. I try something, if it works, great. I try something, if it doesn't work, I'm only doing it on a small portion and I'm just taking it out and trying something new. And sometimes that's the way we have to look at quilting, because not everything has been tried before. And when you're out there exploring what can be done in quilts, you're the one responsible for the solution to a problem, and the only way is trial and error. So we're just going to take what we know and try to work with it as best we can. So that's my plan for that. I think what we're going to do as far as videos on this, I'm planning to have a video where I show you some hand quilting next, and then a video making the binding, because that's something we don't do here a lot, and I want to show you how my new binding board works for this. So we'll probably just kind of work on this here until the end of the year as we have time, and put the videos out as there's an open spot for it. And my goal is to finish this before the first of the year. And we'll just see how that goes. But it is coming along. Like I said, it was super, super frustrating. And, you know, you might ask, well, why do you tell us that? Because frankly, you may have the same problem on one of your quilts. And you, just like I would want to know, I'm not the only one having that problem. That somebody else has had it and this is how they fixed it. Will that help me with my problem? So I do like to share the bad along with the good. And, you know, our mission for this year was to have a frustration-free quilting zone. And for the most part, we've been successful with that, but there have been a couple of things that have really tried my patience, and this certainly is one of them, because I just love the fabrics. I love the way it looks, but it has just been difficult several times during the period that we've been working on it and trying to figure out how to make it come together. And you got to take the good with the bad and work through those, because working through those problems is what makes us a better quilter, but it also teaches us some degree of patience, and that patience will help us both in quilting and with other things. My philosophy of the day. So that's where we are with this, and like I said, I'll have some more videos as I finish it up, and fingers crossed we'll get it done before the end of the year. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed the content, give us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week at the Shamrock Quilt Studio. Bye-bye.